Today, I'm going to be talking with my boy EQ, who just went #1 on Billboard with Lil Tekka's new album, Dopamine. And the insane part is, he's only 14 years old. So in this video, we're going to dive into how he was able to get good at producing at such a young age and become a #1 Billboard charting producer while he was still in middle school. Let that sink in. That's insane. But anyways, without any more yapping, let's get right into it. All right, so first question, how did you actually get started making music in the first place?
I was just really into music at the time. I've been playing piano for like 9 years, and I played a bunch of instruments before, like saxophone as well, a little bit of violin. I was seeing a lot of clips around on TikTok of like the speedrunners for like music or producing, and I was kind of interested in it. And so for Christmas I got like a DAW, and I got my first MIDI keyboard, and I just started playing around with it, and I got really into it.
So how long have you been producing?
I've been producing for around like a year now, a little bit more than.
That's crazy. But I mean, I guess you've kind of been like a musician your whole life though.
I've been like classically trained by a couple of piano teachers. There's like levels to piano in our area where it's like you can get ranked, I guess, in your state, and I ended up being like the highest rank.
Damn, why don't you, because I know you're focused more on like drums and beats, like why don't you do loops more?
So actually from Sonics, like the Discord server, I started out about 3 months in. I was like in the server, I was just sending stuff in, getting some feedback, and a lot of people were telling me to like start focusing on drums first to get like my confidence up, and then once I get good at that, just to go to loops. That's pretty much what I did, and now I'm more so making a lot of loops.
Like other than just like seeing videos and being interested in it, is there a point in time where like you started to take it seriously?
Around like December, November of last year, because I joined Sonics, like your Discord server. I found the whole bootcamp thing and all of like the beat send outs, and I started getting like really into it, and I would just get into that grind set for like placements, and I started really thinking more towards the business side of music rather than just making it.
That's still crazy, like not even a year into it and you've already not even like already have a Billboard placement and all this stuff, but just like already thinking like that is crazy. Obviously you've been like around music your whole life. What was your process to like get to the point from like zero, like having no idea how to produce music, to being able to make stuff that's obviously industry standard considering you went #1 with it? Like how did you do that within a year?
Really, the main things, like I would join like Discord servers, Telegram groups, and I would watch a bunch of YouTube tutorials. I would just ask around for feedback from people who are better than me. And as the learning side, I would kind of like, there's this app called Parsec. I would like remote desktop with a lot of people who are better than me, and we would just share ideas, and I would learn like their techniques from just watching them do it over and over again. And then we'd crank out a bunch of beats and we would just send them out. That's like how I got better, because you're maximizing your chances of placements while also getting better at the same time.
So how many beats do you think you were making a day?
On like a weekday, I'd say like 8 to 12 maybe.
And that's a weekday, like as in like going to school as well?
Yeah. During the year, it'd be like I'd go to school from 7 to 2, and then I'd come home, just cook beats for like the rest of the day, eat dinner, do some homework.
So you would do your beats before your homework?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. So now I kind of want to get into your Lil Tekka record that just dropped. You were telling me earlier, just like we've talked, like you were just like everything you were working on was just to get on that Lil Tekka album. How many beats do you think that you made specifically for Tekka's album?
I cooked up for about like 3-4 months to get on that album actually. So I'd say like 100 to 200, anywhere in between there.
How did you even get in the position to be working on that album with like, you know, a connection that was actually working on it?
So there is a Rio's World Telegram, like a public one going around. I was DMing every single day a bunch of like internet money producers or people who've worked on Tekka records in the past. Like I would check credits, and for those connections I would just grind, because they would probably send loops or tell me to send loops, and I would just work on those, and I would just build strong connections with those people. I was just sending to anybody who claimed they had a connection or did have a connection.
So you weren't being picky at all on who you were working with?
Nah, I just like to work with everybody, to be honest.
So how did you find the people who were like working on it but don't have like a Lil Tekka placement from the past?
I was just looking for people who had notable credits in like the internet money area, I guess, and then I would message them and we'd work, and coincidentally sometimes they would just be like, oh yeah, I need beats for the Tekka album, and I just send them a couple. That's how I ended up getting the placement actually.
How did the placement actually come about?
One day, one of my friends who I work with a lot, Cartier K, he's worked on like Fivio Foreign records before. He just messaged me and he was like, oh yeah, I need a pack of beats for Tekka. He's in the studio today with one of my connections, and I sent him a pack, and then it ended up getting placed. place.
How did you feel whenever you found, like, not when you heard the record, but when you first found out that you had like an actual, like, he recorded on something that you made?
It was kind of crazy. I woke up on a random like day, and then I see a text from not Cartier, but from Bernie Made It, one of the Internet Money producers, and he's just like, "Yo, we got one with Tekka," and I was just stoked the whole day. But it kind of felt weird because I couldn't really tell anybody.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Whenever I get like a cut with like a huge artist, I just want to tell everyone. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
What did it feel like when it was finally midnight and like you clicked play and you heard your shit on the Tekka album?
I kind of heard it early on accident because like the Tekka song dropped in like all time zones at midnight. So a bunch of people were like sending me clips and I didn't really know what it was. It was really crazy though. Like everybody was storing me. It just felt surreal, man. And I woke up the next morning. I just saw all of these like VODs of like big streamers or just people in general just like posting clips reacting to the song specifically in the album. It's just crazy.
What is it like hanging out with your friends and stuff, producing for an artist like Lil Tekka?
It's kind of crazy. Like everybody was calling me up and they're just like, "Wow, EQ Prod," and people would call me that in real life now. It's like people will come up to me and they'll be like, "It's EQ Prod," and I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, I know the struggle.
And a lot of people would be like, "So are you like Tekka's best friend, or like are you famous?" Or like they'd ask me these questions and I'm just like, I'm just the guy who produced for Tekka, you know?
So you got a Lil Tekka placement, went #1 on Billboard while you were an 8th grader.
Yeah.
Insane. In middle school. So what does your family think of you producing?
Before I got the placement, like they didn't really like think of it as important. And even when I did get the Tekka record, my parents are they're new immigrants, so they don't really understand like the music culture, or they don't really like listen to music in general. They don't like know who Tekka is. So I was like, he has like almost 30 million monthly listeners, this is huge. And they're just like, "Oh, okay." I have a older sister though. She understood completely at the beginning and she was like, "Oh, we gotta get you a lawyer, we gotta get you this, we gotta get you that." She talked my parents into like finally understanding it. Now their perspective has like really changed and it's more like supportive, and whenever I want to make beats, it's just like, "Okay, yeah, just go do it."
That's dope, bro. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is like, I feel like there's a whole new wave of like young producers like you who are kind of coming up and getting huge records just off of like Discords, Telegrams, and stuff like that. What do you think like the best way for producers who don't have an in with like someone they know who's like in the city and they can just go meet all these people? What do you see as like the best strategies to get placements for people in your position?
Online, especially, like you gotta find out these Discords or like Telegrams with like a really big producer at the top running it who has like good connections, and if they offer like send outs or whatever, if you just send like consistently, people will start to know like who you are and you'll start building a good name for yourself like in their head. They might actually explicitly like hit you up and be like, "Oh yeah, I need you to do this for me." Some good Discords or Telegrams I can think of: Rio's World was good before, but that one got closed down. Sonic's is very good. That's one of my favorite ones actually. The Internet Money Telegram is pretty good. That's pretty much about it actually. There's probably a couple more that I'm not naming. But
real quick, before we get into the rest of the video, if you want to join my Discord, it's free. I'll have a link in the description down below for the free Discord. But I also have the Sonics Academy where me and my team give you daily unlimited feedback on your beats. We have live beat review calls with me and other huge industry producers, people who have Grammys, multi-platinum records, all that good stuff, so that you can get better at making music faster, as well as get some opportunities. And inside the Discord, you also get opportunities for major placements, to network with these bigger producers who come on for the group calls, and overall just level up as a producer. And EQ is actually an active member inside of the Sonics Academy, and he's always in there getting feedback on his stuff, continuing to improve. So if you want to level up your beats, your business, your networking, and all that as a producer, I'll have a link in the description to Sonics Academy as well. But anyways, back into the video. Was there a point where it was like hard for you mentally to like send stuff to someone and like they don't even reply or tell you it's good or anything?
I think I got used to it over time because that's how a lot of like bigger producers work. Like they'll just skim through stuff and they'll pick out what they like. And sometimes like, I'm not gonna name names, but I was sending to this guy for a really long time. He was a bigger producer. He wasn't really replying, but I was just sending him a lot of stuff. Eventually I found out from somebody who was really close to him, like they were like talking and they were like, he would like tell his friend like, "This kid is like crazy, like you guys have to sign him," or whatever. Mentally, I think it was kind of a challenge at the beginning when I started sending to some of these bigger people, because it was like I would send beats and when I don't get replies, it feels like I was just overthink it. But in reality, it's like sometimes they just don't reply. I think you have to remember that these bigger people. Like, you have to respect their time because they're also living life. They have time that they want to spend outside of just music, and you have to like respect that.
Okay, so if you had to go back to zero, let's say you have all your producing skills, zero connections, nobody in the Discord servers or anyone like knows your name, what would your game plan be to go and get your first placement again?
If I had no knowledge of like any of the Discord servers or the telegrams, I would straight up go through credits of every single artist I want to work with on Genius, and I would list all the producer names for each artist and find their Instagrams and put it on like a spreadsheet or a Google Doc. I would just like DM everybody on that list. If I did have knowledge of the Discord servers, I would definitely rejoin some of the ones with the higher producers. I would just send like every day some stuff in like the categories for placements, and eventually like they'll start to know who I am.
Regardless of if you can get the attention of like the big leader of the Discord or Telegram or whatever it is, like you're gonna get eyeballs, free eyeballs on your stuff, because there's people in there working, actively doing stuff, and if your stuff is in there, they're just gonna be like going through all those loops and all that. So I think people are sleeping on Discord for sure for getting placements. Over time, your friends will start to get connections, and I think like long term, 10 years from now, you're probably gonna be getting most of your records with like your friends more than just like some random big guy who like used one of your loops. What is your goal long term with producing, if you have one?
I just want to be able to get into the studio sessions with like the bigger artists. Work with people in person is a huge goal of mine. I want to get a lot more Billboard records or bigger records. I want to go platinum or get a Grammy. All of these big things, you know, hopefully.
You might go platinum with the Tekk album. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess this isn't really a question, but I mean, going back to like the work ethic thing, you've been working your ass off for like the whole time I've seen you on my Discord server. You've always been like spamming just like hella beats or whatever, blah, 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 all this stuff to make sure you do get like more Billboard records, all that. You just got to make sure that you don't stop. Like, take your own advice on being like consistent, sending stuff out, because I've seen so many people get one big record, start chilling because they're like, oh fuck yeah, I made it, like finally I'm a Billboard producer, I worked with whatever so and so, and then you literally never see them post anything on Instagram again. And then especially right now, while you're hot because the Tekk album just dropped, I would use that to your advantage, and like the hype that you have because you were just on like, and you produced one of the bigger songs on like the new album. Whenever I got my first big placements, I started DMing every producer who I had been wanting to work with that like wouldn't reply to me. So definitely make sure that you're capitalizing off of all that.
I feel like in music, your network or your connections are pretty much like your worth, or like you have to have like an achievement at least for people to be like, oh, this guy's kind of cool, I might want to work with him.
How do you actually go about DMing people?
To begin with, I was doing a lot of like, I'd post a story and then I would put like in like the fine print, I guess, I'd put like an @ for some of these producers that I want to work with. Like most of the time it'd be airs, just like messages, but I feel like you get more of a chance of getting a reply just because you can actually show these producers that you like have something to offer them, like versus like a dry DM. I think the music just speaks louder than like words. So if these producers like liked it or liked the story, I would story probably a second time with the names who liked it. If they like it again, I'll send a message, and most times I'd get a reply.
All right, last question. Are you gonna order the plaque for the album going #1?
Yes, I am. It's a bit expensive, but we're gonna get it.
Appreciate you guys for making it to the end of this one. As a reminder, if you want to level up as a producer and be in a community of like-minded, serious producers, click that link in the description for the Sonics Academy, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.